Hello, welcome to part 3 of me developing a game where you run your own golf course. In my game, you're going to be doing everything from deciding which holes to buy, to raking sand traps, to stocking and selling gear in the clubhouse. In this video, I'm going to show you guys the new pine tree that I modeled, and then I'll show you some shelves that I made for placing products on, and then we'll just go over what I'm going to work on next. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that I was working on making a video of me coding, and I had already had it recorded at that point. I just had to edit it. When I went to edit that video, I realized that the stuff I was saying while I was coding was just a bunch of incoherent thoughts, and I wasn't able to edit it together in a way that would make sense or even be enjoyable to watch. So I scrapped that video, but I do want to try again, and I want to make a video of me coding. That sounds fun, but I just need to make sure that while I'm coding, the stuff I'm saying is, thought out a little bit more and more digestible. So one thing I did since I last talked to you guys was modeled up a new pine tree. I've kind of touched on this before, but these models are all going to change a ton by the time this game is a finished product. Right now, I'm just trying to get many things modeled so I can kind of settle into a style. And then once I get a style going, I'll tinker with all the pre-existing models and make them all kind of fit together and look like one complete world. I'm really liking these pine trees. I think I want the course to have a sort of cabin in the woods feel to it. I think that's a cozy feeling. And these pine trees are a big step up from the last tree models that I made, which I've just been calling oak trees so far. I also changed up the color scheme of the clubhouse quite a bit. I darkened it, and I think that just fits a lot better with the pine tree. I'm putting a lot of work into the trees right off the bat here. The trees are going to be a major model in this game. Out on the golf course, you are going to be surrounded by trees. So I want the trees to look really good because that's going to be a majority of the objects that you see in this game. I want it to feel like you're out in the forest. The other thing that I worked on since my last video was adding some shelves. In the clubhouse, you will have different kinds of golf-related products or gear that you're going to be selling, and the products need shelves to sit on. I don't really have the products modeled yet, but I have some placeholder models that you'll see that will be able to go on the shelves, and you'll see how it'll sit on the shelf and how it'll look. So I'll just show you how the shelves work really quick, and then I'll talk a little bit about how I made them. So I have 3 different shelf types so far. This shelf is for rangefinders. This shelf is where we'll sit boxes of golf balls. It'll need to be sitting on a countertop or something like that, but that doesn't exist yet, so for now it's floating. And this is my golf club rack. So there will be golf clubs leaned against this, and the shelves are just a way to display the products that you're selling to the customers that come in. So I'll just show you guys how the objects look sitting on the shelves. Again, this is a very rudimentary golf club, just a placeholder, so you kind of see my vision for it. Yeah, place them on the rack. You can pick which slot you put them in. Take them out. So there's our golf club rack. I'm gonna have the bottom of this green. It'll just be like a little chunk of turf that the golf clubs will sit on. I don't know, I've seen some racks like that before and I like them. So here for our golf ball box holder, just fill up a slot for you guys. So now that's full. It holds 4 boxes here. I can't put any more, but come over here. You can also put them up on top if you want. And then our rangefinder rack has a few slots. And I kind of varied the way that these sit and the position of each one. I don't know, I kind of like it if it looks a little handmade almost. I plan on having multiple shelf designs. Maybe as you progress in the game, you can buy a shelf that has a higher capacity. That way, there's more time in between the need to restock your shelf. If you have a busy day and your shelf can only hold, 5 golf clubs, that might sell out pretty quick. So an upgrade could be, a much bigger shelf, and then you don't need to worry about running out of golf clubs in the middle of a rush or something. These shelves all work on a type system. So this shelf right here is of type golf club. So this can only hold products that have that same type, a golf club type. Same with this. This is a ball box. So I can't pick up a golf club and set it on the ball box shelf, you know, which makes sense and is obvious. But when I was making this, you have to explicitly write the code for that, because initially I could just take any object and put it on any shelf, and it looked horrible and it wasn't in the right spot. But I had to designate types to each of these objects and each of the shelves. And you can only place a product on a shelf if it's the same type. So right here is the rangefinder product. And you see over here, I've added a product type, and this one is type rangefinder. So far we have ball boxes, clubs, and rangefinders. So if the type of the product doesn't correspond with the type of the shelf that you're trying to add it to, so here this is our rangefinder shelf, it's of type rangefinder. If the type of the shelf and the product aren't the same, it won't work. So if I take the rangefinder and I make it a club type, now I'll no longer be able to put it on our rangefinder shelf. And I'll show you that. We'll just see what happens. So now it's a club, so it won't fit on here. But if we put it over on the club shelf, there it is. So you see how the types kind of dictate everything. The shelf doesn't know what it is, and the products don't know what they are until I give them that type field. But yeah, I think the rangefinders look a little better over on this one. Just out of curiosity, because I want to see it. Hey, that's not bad. All right, back to work. Another thing you might have noticed over here underneath the product type is a price. This will come into play later when these products are actually being purchased, but for now, they're just in the code. I haven't done anything with the price yet. So that's what I've gotten done since my last video. What I'm planning on doing next is adding in some customers, or what I'm calling golfers. I'm gonna make them enter the clubhouse, shop around the different shelves, and depending on what they have on their shopping list, they'll pick up some products and head to the checkout desk. At this point, there's not gonna be a model for the golfers. That's gonna be a trickier model, and I need to up my modeling skills before I can pull that one off. I want the golfers to look good. I want it to be a fun style character, not exactly a human, probably humanoid, but I don't know yet. I want to do some fun, silly character that'll be on the course golfing. So for now, I'm just going to make some placeholder objects, and I'm going to make them enter the store, and based on their shopping list, they'll go look at the shelves that they're interested in, pick up those products, and bring them to the checkout desk. Once they're at the desk, they'll need to set the products down so you, the player, can scan the products and then finish the transaction. After that, I'm just gonna have them leave. They're not gonna go golf or anything like that yet, because none of that exists in the world. So I'm essentially just starting by making a working store. Once I have things running smoothly in the clubhouse, we'll move outside and make it into a golf game. But for now, I just want to get the flow of customers and products working correctly. So yeah, hopefully in my next video, I'll have some golfers in the clubhouse shopping around. Thanks for watching.